Greetings, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to what you might have heard, the pronunciation of the name which the ancient Israelites used to refer to our Creator is known. It is not true that the pronunciation of that name has been lost. There appears to be a strong interest in certain quarters to hide the pronunciation of that name for reasons which I intend to make known. But before I do so, I must first prove that that pronunciation is indeed known. And that is the purpose of this video. The ancient Israelites represented the name of our Creator in their writings using 3 letters of their alphabet with one of the letters repeated. The resulting 4-letter word is known as the Tetragrammaton. Those who translated the writings of the ancient Israelites did not transliterate the Tetragrammaton as should normally be done with names of people and places during translation, because names do not translate. A word is said to have been transliterated if it is pronounced in the translation the same way that it is pronounced in the original language. Transliteration transmits the pronunciation of a word unchanged from one language to another, even if the languages are written using different alphabets. In the place where the Tetragrammaton should have appeared, the transliterated form of the Tetragrammaton should have appeared in the translation, the translators inserted various words such as the Lord Almighty, the Sovereign Lord, Jehovah, Yahweh, and so on, depending on the translation. They claim to have done so because they were unable to transliterate the Tetragrammaton because no one knows what the Tetragrammaton sounded like in the original languages of the ancient Israelites. The question is this really true? Is it really true that no one knows anymore what the Tetragrammaton sounded like in the original languages of the ancient Israelites? In the 40-volume book titled Bibliotheca Historica and written between 60 and 30 BCE, is contained the transliterated form of the Tetragrammaton. In chapter 94 of the first volume, its author, a Greek historian named Diodorus Siculus, writes, "Thus it is recorded that among the Aryans, Zarathustra claimed that the good spirit gave him his laws. Among the people known as the Getae, who represent themselves to be immortal, Zalmoxis asserted the same concerning their common goddess Hestia. And among the Jews, Moses referred his laws to the god who is invoked as Ea-O. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that the word which is spelled using Greek letters as iota, alpha, omega is pronounced exactly the same way as the ancient Israelites pronounced the Tetragrammaton. In light of this information, is it really defensible that the translators claim that no one knows what the Tetragrammaton sounded like in the original languages? Or could it be that in reality they have a different reason for not transliterating the Tetragrammaton. You can read the words of Diodorus Siculus in their context by following the link in the description box below this video. The translators also did not transliterate several Israelite names which appeared in the original writings. Had they done so, then the prophet we know as Jeremiah would have been introduced to the world as Yirmeyahu or Yirmeyahu. The king known as Jehoshaphat would have been Yehoshaphat, and the high priest known as Jehoiada would have been Yehoiada. And in common with most Africans, these names also had meanings. An internet search will reveal that Yirmeyahu means exalted of God, that Yehoshaphat means God is judge, and Yehoiada means God knows. But what part of these names map onto the word God in their meanings? It surely must be the word that is common to all three names, because God is common to the meanings of all three names. That part is Yahweh, which is the same word that Diodorus Siculus said was used to invoke the God of Moses. Therefore, Yirmeyahu would have been Yahweh exalted by Yahweh. Yehoshaphat would have been Yahweh is judge, and Yehoiada would have been Yahweh knows. These would have been the meanings of these names. Perhaps this is what was meant in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14 by the words, "My people who are known by my name." Embedding the Tetragrammaton in the names of people guaranteed that the pronunciation of the Tetragrammaton would never be lost as long as the people continued to use those names. Back in 5 BC and 4 BC, between 5 BC and 4 BC, the island of Elephantine, which is located on the Nile River in the southern part of Egypt, was home to a community of Israelites. We know that this is so because of the thousands of documents which they left behind to be discovered late in the 19th and early in the 20th century. One of those documents, written in Aramaic, is a letter requesting the support of a certain government official to rebuild a temple that was on the island of Elephantine. In that letter, the Israelites of Elephantine reveal that they had sent a similar request to the high priest in Jerusalem, but were yet to receive a reply. The representation of the name of the god whose temple they wished to rebuild in the Aramaic characters is pronounced Yahweh, which is again the very same word, the very same pronunciation which we find in the names of Israelites as well as in the words of Diodorus Siculus, but rendered using a different alphabet. And finally, among the Dead Sea Scrolls is a fragment number 4Q120, which is a portion of the Septuagint, the Greek Bible written in the Bible written in the Greek language. And in Leviticus chapter 3 verse 12 and in Leviticus chapter 4 verse 27, the word which in our modern Bibles is rendered Lord, in that fragment it is rendered Yahweh. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, in summary, is that Yahweh must be the pronunciation that the ancient Israelites used to refer to our Creator. And this is rendered in different languages and different alphabets, but the pronunciation is actually preserved. So the question then becomes, what justification would anyone having this information have for continuing to use a different pronunciation for the Tetragrammaton? This pronunciation has the best support of evidence, historical evidence, compared to all the other pronunciations floating about. Could it be that this is all part of the effort to conceal the true pronunciation of that name? I believe that that is so, and in the next video I will present you with the reasons for that effort. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and have a good day. Bye.